Hey, welcome back to Mike's Italian Grand Adventure. As you can probably tell, I'm not in Colorado. I'm back down in Arizona visiting my parents. Still a foot of snow back home, I think at my house at least. And they got a little bit of snow yesterday, but it's beautiful, sunny here in Arizona. And I'm out for a little motorcycle ride. It's Thanksgiving Day, 2024. So this will be released on Black Friday special. Hey, all right. Well, welcome back. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the projects that will be going on at the house. And believe it or not, I'm kind of laying some of the groundwork already. Italian Grand Adventure from the northern Sonoran Desert of southern Arizona. Hey, so welcome back. I hope it's not too windy. I've got the dead cat on my microphone to stop the wind, hopefully, but a little breeze started up right when I got on this hill here. But man, just take a look at this beautiful countryside. I'm gonna pan around. I'm gonna try to do it really slow because a bunch of people had talked about when I was doing tours of the house that they were getting sick from my camera work. So I'm gonna try and take a slow 360 as I can without, boring everyone. But yeah, I'm riding in the mountains here. Mexico is that way, not too far, maybe 30 miles. Like 45 kilometers. And yeah, just a beautiful sunny Thanksgiving day. And I decided to come out here and get a little riding in on the Husky. Man, is it fun. So this is actually a little OHV area I'm in, off-highway vehicle area that's only open to off-road vehicles. But this is street legal, but I can ride here obviously too. So yeah, really incredible desert riding. I love it. The only thing I have to get used to is when you're riding down the trails and the branches are sticking out in Colorado or, wherever else, you can just kind of let those branches hit you. And I've got like bark busters on my handlebar that block them. But here in the desert, everything's got a thorn on it and some of them just huge spikes, and they'll grab your jersey or, jam you and you'll be bleeding. So it's kind of sketchy because usually you can kind of ride through some of those branches, but out here you got to get away from them. So it makes it a little bit more a little more interesting. Yeah, so just doing some riding out here. Actually, I'm hoping to find this other place. There's an old cemetery out here in the desert that I found one time. Really super cool, really old headstones written in like kind of broken Spanish, Spanglish, little English on there, from like the late 1800s, early 1900s. So I'm hoping to find that, and if I do, I'll share that with you guys a little bit later. But right now, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the projects at the house. So there's quite a bit of work to do, and there's a little bit more than I was intending to do actually. But I was introduced to a few contractors when I was there this fall. And one of the places I stayed, I showed you the pictures of the exposed brick ceilings at this apartment that we had rented when we were there. Both Kuba and Rick and I rented an apartment from this guy. Ended up meeting him, and he recommended a contractor. I'd mentioned that in a previous video. So I ended up reaching out to him, and we exchanged a few messages back and forth, and he said he's busy through the end of the year, but he's going to take a look at the place and give me an estimate. So that's super exciting. And I've decided, I think pretty confidently what I'm going to do. There's 7 ceilings that I could do, because there's the main entranceway, which would be super cool right when you walk in the house to have the exposed brick. That'd be a really incredible introduction to the house as you walk in. I think that'll look cool. And then each of the apartments have 3 rooms, a kitchen, living room, and a bedroom. So I think on the first floor where I'd like to stay, I'm gonna get all 3 of those rooms done. But on the second floor that I'd like to rent out, I think I'll probably just get the living room done, because the kitchen is a pretty good sized room, but I think you won't be spending a lot of time there. The bedroom's pretty small little room, just enough room for a bed and some dressers and stuff. So again, I don't think that would be really important, but we'll see. Based on the estimate, if the price is reasonable, maybe I do some of those too. But right now, I'm thinking 5 rooms. So the entranceway and the 3 on the first floor, and then the living room on the second floor. So that's kind of the plan for that. But the other thing I was looking at when we were there, the water line where it comes into the house, to me, it looked like galvanized steel. So that's what we've used in the United States. I don't know if they use that in Europe, but what it is it's galvanized on the exterior of the pipe to keep it from rusting, but it's not galvanized on the inside of the pipe. So what happens is the inside of the pipe rusts over time, and the diameter keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and it restricts your water flow, reduces water pressure and all that stuff. So my thought is, since I'm getting the ceilings done and they have to rip all that plaster out, and then while he's there, he'll fix the plaster, any cracks and all that stuff, why not get the water lines replaced at the same time? Just the water supply lines, not the drain lines. But in these houses, the walls are brick, solid. So you have to trench them out. You actually cut a trench into the brick and then run the water lines in there. So then you have to repair the plaster on the outside. So now would be the time to do that for sure. There's no sense. You couldn't come back. Why come back later, make a mess and do all that? So, of course, preserving the tile floors in the first floor bathroom for sure. The second floor bathroom was a remodel done in the 70s, and those tiles are not, they're original from the 70s, but they're nothing special. So, and then they're not really very pretty. So I'd like to replace those possibly anyway. But yeah, and I think it wouldn't be too bad, because the water line comes in down in the cellar, and then both bathrooms and the existing kitchen are on the same end of the house. In fact, the bathrooms are one above each other. So you could pretty much run those just straight up and then over to the kitchen on the second floor. The the kitchen in the first floor is just above what's right now a storage area, and it's not in good shape. So that all needs to be redone anyway. So I think from the cellar, you could just come up through that room to that kitchen. So there's already a water line there for the sink, so it just have to follow the same route. So it really shouldn't be too bad. So anyway, Paula, my incredible realtor, offered to have a plumber go over there and look at it and give me an estimate. So that's really, really, really cool. And I talked with Paula, by the way, because she's a realtor. Her job is to sell me a place, which she did. And as far as I'm concerned, she's fulfilled her obligations for me. But I did ask her if she'd be willing to help me out and let contractors in when I need to before I get there. And she said, absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, for clients like you that don't live here, my help continues, until you're done and ready to roll. So I told her, listen, what can we do to kind of maybe give you some compensation? And I said, one of the things that might be really helpful to you is when I'm there, and I'll go do some walkthrough tours of the properties that you have for sale and just share them with you guys. So then hopefully she maybe finds a client through my YouTube channel. She already has for one of the properties I walked through, I'm pretty sure. So that's kind of my thought process, is that I'll help her out with some of her listings. She can help me out with, getting contractors over there. And she also offered to take a look at any estimates or bids I get to see if they're in line. So that's pretty incredible. Yeah, I like that. And one of the contractors that I was introduced to in the neighboring town, he said that he knew Paula. And so I asked her, and she's like, well, I know of him. He's a bricklayer, and I've never heard anything bad about him. So that's a really good thing. And then also this particular contractor had done some work for the expat couple from Chicago that I'd mentioned previously on here. And they speak very highly of him and his business partner there. So a couple of really good leads. So I'm really excited about that. And then, so those are really the 2 big projects, the water lines and the exposed ceilings, and then that would be plaster repair as well. The other thing I'll need to do is the kitchen that's going to be on the first floor. There's not enough electrical in there, so I'm sure they'll have to do some more electrical. So Paula also offered to get an electrician over there and see what they charge to, probably just put another little panel in and run some power up there, because I'll have an electric oven. And obviously refrigerator, and then you need a certain number of outlets. In the United States, at least, there's very strict code for how much power you need in a kitchen, how close they need to be, how many outlets you can have per circuit, all that stuff. So there's really those three big things: the water lines, the plaster ceilings, and then the electrical in the kitchen. And then the kitchen cabinets, I think I'll do those myself. Not going to build them, I'll buy them, but I'll install them myself. It's pretty straightforward stuff, so I've done that before. I've actually built 2 complete sets of cabinets from scratch here in the United States. But, so that shouldn't be a problem. So we'll see. Or if, one of the other contractors does that and can do it, and the price is reasonable, hey, I'm happy to let them do that too. So yeah, some interesting stuff going on already. So I'm trying to kind of do as much as I can up front before I get there, because I really don't want them to start until I'm there. I'd like to be present. I've worked with contractors before, and they're just things that, if you want them done a certain way, you want to be there. Just not because they don't do their job right, but just because they might do it differently than you want, or sometimes they do their job wrong, for sure. Let me assure you, I know of that after building a house. But yeah, so I'd like to be there. But if I can get the estimates, get everything lined up, so when I get there, they start work, that would be fantastic. So, and again, I'm planning on renting an apartment for like the first month or so I'm there. Hopefully they can get some of the plaster stuff done before or during that month. So yeah, we'll see. It's just kind of, I'd like to be as efficient as possible when I get there. The other thing is, they probably can't do the plaster without me there, because they don't have electricity and water running yet. It's not hooked up to the house. But this guy, if the plumbing guy is going to get to work and needs to do that, maybe I can get the power turned on without being there, and then he can do the water lines. And then we get the water turned on when I get there. So we'll see. That would be really cool. I mean, if they could get some of the work done before I get there in, March or April, whenever I go over there, that would be fantastic. I'd love it. So we'll see. We'll see. Those are all potentials of what's going on. But for right now, I'm down here in Arizona hanging out with my parents, avoiding the winter in Colorado, which got quite cold quickly. And yeah, and just getting a little motorcycle riding in. Oh man, I can't tell you how much fun that is. So I just came through, there's an experimental area out here where someone's just coming up the road. Experimental area where they have some roads through it. They let you ride through it. Motorized vehicles can go through there, but it's gated off. It's just dirt roads. It's pretty pristine desert. So pretty cool. I like it out there. So I just came through that area, and this is some of the footage coming through there. And man, just fun. Really. Really a blast. So, and then I knew about this place, so I came up here, and I'm just going to do a little bit of riding up here. I'm going to head back down and try and find that that cemetery. Really cool. Hopefully I can find that, and then head back. And it's time for Thanksgiving. Got to do a little cooking. The turkey's on right now. Before I left, the turkey was roasting. So yeah, got some good days, good time coming up today. Some good meals coming, and my mom made a pumpkin pie last night, so we got that looking forward to. Oh man, Thanksgiving, love it. Hey, welcome back to Mike's Italian Grand Adventure. So I found that old cemetery I wanted to show you guys. It's called the Helvetia Cemetery. So there's a kind of a ghost town back over here. I think the town doesn't exist. There's a huge modern day mine right back over here. And so it has signs for private property everywhere, so I haven't been able to get into the town. But this is outside the town limits, and it's really incredible. So I just really wanted to share it with you guys. Just some incredible kind of history. So I'm going to turn the camera around here so we can kind of walk through it. But you can see it's just out here in the desert, the Helvetia Cemetery. And you can see it's just got this old wooden barbed wire fence around here, wooden post barbed wire fence. And let's take a look in here. There's one in particular that I find really, really compelling. So you can just see the mesquite have grown up in here, and there's some more modern day ones here. Look at this old one here, no cross. Well, there's a cross there that's just rotted, but some plastic flowers. And then here's a pretty good one. It has a nice chain link fence around it. But I mean, some of these, look at these, just iron bars in the shape of a cross, and some wooden crosses here with some old some old plastic flowers like this one right here, and just a few rocks. But really incredible. I love this kind of stuff, the history. I mean, not specifically cemeteries, but just the history and the fact that this is just out in the middle of the desert. I mean, if you look around, it's just, there's not much here. Look at this big, huge cross leaning up here in the tree. And then there's a cross down there, and these rocks right here. This one in particular, I really find quite compelling though. If you can see here, and it has an old fence someone built around it. And then this cross, you can really see the writing. It's in Spanish, and it says, "Aquí descansan los restos de Tomás G. Sánchez, que nació el 1887 y murió el 1909. Es un recuerdo de su hermano Victor. Este propuesto in 1976, the 29th of July, it looks like it says." So, yeah, really interesting. He died in 1909, it's saying there. But this is what's kind of really interesting to me, is look at this note here. Buried by his father, Salvador Sanchez, Thomas Sanchez, 1882 to 1909, was 27 years old. This copy of his wedding photo placed by his grandniece in April 1st, 2022, only 2 years ago. Grace Sanchez, granddaughter of Jose Sanchez. Tio Thomas, you are not forgotten. Wow, so Uncle Thomas, you're not forgotten. And then some flowers here. Wow, that's just incredible to me, the reverence people have for family. Great grandniece? Yeah, his grandniece. Wow, she came back here, found his grave, and put that note. The photo's faded, you can't see it, but yeah, I just found this place really compelling. And I mean, here's one over here that has a pair of boots on the grave. Just a cross and a pair of old boots. So, yeah, just really pretty incredible stuff. So I know this obviously doesn't have anything to do with Italy, but since I was out here, and I'm always experiencing these things that I'd like to share with people, so I wanted to share this with you guys. So anyway, let's get back to the Italian Grand. I wish you guys all a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had a great one. And then, more information to come here. Really excited about the prospects of what's going to happen this spring, and kind of start getting things ready. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, once again, if you haven't signed up, if you haven't subscribed, please click on the subscribe button, my little face. Click the bell icon so you get notifications when I upload videos, because right now it's not super regular. I'm not doing doing them every single week like I had been for the first 7 months or whatever. But I'm going to try to do, at least one a month, maybe a couple a month. We'll see. Just kind of where I'm going. I'm traveling a bit now, and it's winter and not a lot of progress on the project anyway. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted when there's something new. And other than that, please keep checking back and follow along. I really appreciate it.